Welcome back to the Workbench, where uncut and unedited, a guy, me, tries to make things. And what we're making right now, or continuing to make right now, is the Accurate Miniatures McLaren M8B Can-Am car, the model kit. And we finished up yesterday on step 17, and we were going into step 18. I decided to kind of cut it a little bit short yesterday because step 18's got some interesting things I wanted to focus on more today. So we'll try to get 18 and actually 19 done today. But here's where we're at so far. We got a pretty nice tub and chassis and everything going on. Now we need to do the dash and I guess a few more tub details, they're calling it. So we'll start with, let's see, we were supposed to paint the front and back of the instrument panel 129, leaving the spots clear for the gauges themselves. So let me zoom in a little bit here for you if I can. So what I did is I did just that. And the way I left the little circles here, there's these three spots right here. So this was a completely clear piece that I painted flat black. And what I did is I just used some Mod Podge as liquid mask. So I just used a toothpick and put it right in those circles there, let it dry completely, then painted the flat black over top and then peeled. Now I did it on front and back because I painted both sides. So I Mod Podged both sides, painted it completely black, and then peeled that Mod Podge off along with the paint, obviously, and then revealing the clear part again. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. And then I just went back, I looked at some pictures of the M8B, and these little spots here where there's red, kind of red lights in this section, and there was actually what looked like to be a wooden colored kind of flip switch. I painted that brown a little bit, and the bezels were aluminum, so I painted the bezels aluminum. So we've got that done. So we left the instrument areas unpainted, as it says here. Let me zoom back out. I'm a little close for you guys, probably. Whoops, wrong way. Yeah. So next we want to apply the instrument decals to the fronts of the gauges themselves. Let me dump these guys out, which I have actually already done. So I painted and this one I think moved on us. Why are they still moving around? How are these not dry yet? I did these like 2 days ago. But anyways, I probably should have left it zoomed in. There's no way you can see this anyways, but I painted these tiny gauges, aluminum. They got these tiny water slide decals that go on them. These are even tinier. And I guess now we have to glue these into, where did the dash go? Oh, right in front of me. Into the dash. I'm assuming apply the instrument housing decal and goes on. Okay, that's the decals. Decal C goes there. After these decals are thoroughly dry, glue the instrument housing to the back of the instrument panel with white glue is what they're calling for. And then, of course, put the tachometer where it goes and the other ones where they go. Which side is the... Okay, so I did paint this correctly. So this is the back side here. And they're saying use white glue, which I have. I have some good quality... white glue is Project Glue. This is from I can't remember what this was even from, but it's good quality white glue. I also have, what did I do with it? I also have this stuff by Testers, which I rarely ever use anything by Testers, but it's this clear part cement and window maker. I don't think I've ever used this. Have I even, oh no, it's been opened at some point. I don't know if I wanted to try, is this stuff even any good? Let me see if, oh gosh. You guys probably didn't see what just happened here, but I just dumped about half the bottle of it out onto my piece of cardboard. Whoops. I wonder if we should try to use, I think I'm going to try to use this stuff. I probably can use that big old pile of glue I just put there. So I guess maybe what we want to do is, I could probably just, I wonder if I could just dip it and then stick it. Is that how we should try to do this? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to just kind of dip the front of this. Yeah, like so. And then I'm going to stick it on here. And it's that little notch part on the tachometer is supposed to go up ways. Now, I guess what I can see, I mean, it's just all hazed out right now, but my understanding is this is going to dry clear. So we'll just hope for the best as far as that goes. Oops, I moved it. But I want to make sure we're in. It's hard to see to know that you're in the little circle area you want to be in. I'm going to lay that down. Well, you can't lay it flat because of yeah, so I'll just go like that. I think that's, I'm going to look at it from the other side. Yeah, I think we're in there. And then that should dry. My understanding is it should dry clear. I mean, you can apparently you can actually literally make windows with this stuff, I guess. I bought it. I mean, I've owned that. I've owned this over a decade, probably. I don't know how old this stuff is. I hope it's still good. Does it go bad? We'll probably find out. Now, these, they say one of them is a, I think it said one of them, what did they say? One is a pressure, a water pressure gauge. Oh, one's a fuel pressure, water temperature gauge. The other one is a temperature, let's see, an oil temperature, oil pressure. Who knows which is which? They're like, put this one there. I mean, come on. I have no idea what's going on. So I'm just going to do the same thing, dip it in glue, and then stick it in the little window we've made there. Try to make sure we're straight. I just want to make sure we're actually in the window too. I don't want any clear space to end up showing around the gauge, if that makes sense, where I'm not actually in that little spot it's supposed to be in. We do the same thing for this one. I don't know if I got enough. Let me do that. There we go. And then, okay, and then I'm going to use the tweezers to kind of move it in the place where I'm pretty sure there's like a little lip. So when you get in the wrong place, it kind of it goes up on the lip, so the gauge kind of goes crooked. Okay, so that's going to be okay. What I think I'll do, I want to set this somewhere and hold it, keep it flat, but because what can I set underneath there? I'm trying to find something. Can I just kind of wedge this maybe to hold it? Let's see. I think that's going to be okay. We'll let that sit like so. I'm going to move this out of the way before a mess gets made. In fact, let me move it over to the other side. We'll let that kind of dry up, and then it says when the next step is actually when the assembly is dry to then glue it in. But I'm going to have to wait a second for that. So let's do this. We probably shouldn't do the steering wheel yet because that's going to have to go in after the dash because the steering column actually goes through the dash. So we can't do the steering wheel yet. We'll wait on that. Glue the front anti-sway bar. I think that we should probably be able to go ahead and do. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So we've got the sway bar here. I've already painted it the semi-gloss black. It looks like it goes this way, and where are those holes? Those are these holes here that the brackets, and then these go, does it go behind? Yeah, kind of, this kind of slides in here. Where does it go? Here? Yeah, it's going to go on the outsides of the A-arms there. I guess, yeah, it's going to have to go. Yeah, I see it goes. No. What is that? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong lines. I think it's supposed to go actually inside the A-arms, which is going to make it fit kind of tight. Let's see if that'll even happen without me breaking anything. You got to kind of squeeze it in there. I don't think that's going to happen. Let me see if we have let me see if we have a picture somewhere showing. Oh boy, it's even hard to tell. It does look like it's supposed to go inside these A-arms. Let me see if I can make that. I think we can make it happen. My only thing is it's kind of flexing this middle piece, but it'll go. Yeah, I can make it force that. There we go. Okay. Right there. Okay. Is anything? No, nothing's broken. Okay. So I'm going to leave it just like that. Did I break anything? That's always my first question. I'm going to pop this up just a little bit if I can, so I can get some glue underneath. Yeah, boy, now I made a mess of our CA glue cardboard here. But I'm going to just drop some CA glue right here. Always got to mention discount on some Starbond CA glue down in the description if you want it. If you want to get yourself some good CA glue. And I'm just going to take and kind of, I want to very carefully, this one's going to be easy because it's popped up plenty high here. Just kind of touch some CA glue. I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn it around. I need to get underneath here, but it's kind of pulled itself. I don't want to pull it all the way out. There we go. I can just hold it just like so. Come in. I want to get the CA in the little hole or the little spot that these brackets are supposed to pop into. I think I've got that taken care of. Let's move this out of the way and then flip you back around. And then let's see if we can get that to pop down into those holes now, which it seems to be, I think. Yep, seems to be where it goes. Okay, so it made it happen. So yeah, the sway bar, the anti-sway bar, it ties in, obviously inside the A arms there. I mean, I guess somewhat. Obviously, I don't know how Can-Am cars work, but yeah, that's sitting in place. I just want to make sure we're actually, yeah, okay, nice. Excellent. I always like when something actually goes as it should. That was the sway bar, and then we want to do the left fuel vent line, which is, I think that's going to be this guy over here, right? Yeah, this one that I painted up the other day. Let me take it off the little clamp here. And it is going to run, yeah, from this hole here, and it goes back. Oh yeah, it goes, I actually looked at this earlier. It runs back and just kind of mounts to the back side of the bulkhead there, but there is a ton of stuff going on here, so I guess I got to try to just kind of shove that down in there. Yeah, so let me go ahead. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and glue up the front. Does it run around the outside? How does this go? I guess it's going to go... Does it go over top of that? It doesn't really, or does it go around the outside? They never really show you, so what I like to do is try to look... Yeah, okay, so we can see... I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. I'm trying not to mess up my dashboard there. So it's going to run around... Can you see what I'm... Yeah. It's going to run around the outside of this, the filler here, the fuel tank filler around the outside there. That's why I was curious about how it gets to that point, because they don't really show you in the instruction here. They just say glue it here and there. So let's go ahead and do just that. Grab some CA glue. It won't take much to... Right there. And then... So we can just, I think this will just kind of go straight back, kind of angle the fitting back to right, like so. In fact, let me turn that. Let me see if I can turn this just a little bit before it cures up on us. Can I get that to, try to get that in its hole a little better. Get in your hole. There we go. I think that's going to be it's heading the right direction. That should be good. How is our dashboard looking? I don't know how long this stuff takes to dry. It could be a while, I guess. Because it basically, I'm assuming, I mean, it's supposed to dry completely clear, so we're hoping for that, I suppose. I'm going to move it out of the way before I bump it and goof it up. So I'm going to move it way up over out of the way there. Okay, so now that should be coming, curing up for us. Let's see. So this is going to have to go, they said to turn it, so it's supposed to stand straight up, I think, is my understanding, this fitting, against, like I said, against this bulkhead. So it's got to kind of tuck down in here, because there's a whole bunch of hoses going on right in this same spot. This one we're going to actually, you know what? And it actually, in this next, let me move some stuff a little bit. In the next step, see if I can show you. Is it this hose? Yeah, that hose. This one here, this is from previously. This is 154 from way back in step 1. It actually connects here to the overflow. So I think what I'm going to do is make that connection first to get that hose out of the way. So then I can tuck this one down in there. I think that makes sense to me. And it literally just goes right here. You know, it's almost sitting right where it needs to go. Whoops, where did that go? Oh, here it is. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and make that connection from that previous hose that's just been hanging out there forever. If I can get it. I think I need to change. I think I accidentally dipped my my paper clip into the clear parts glue. Let me just get a new one. There we go. And then let's get some good fresh CA glue if we can. into that part right here. Let's see. Man, I made a mess with that clear parts glue. It's it's running everywhere. I didn't realize half the bottle was going to squeeze out in one little go. Okay, let's get that. There we go. Perfect. And then you go here, please. Flip my tweezers over. Right there. Perfect. Let me hold that just a second. I kind of close to the face cam. Okay, yeah, holding. Okay, we'll let that dry up. So that one goes there. I want to let that go ahead, and because I need to tuck this one. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I hope so. This one needs to tuck in back here. So that right here. So that moves that one out of the way. Obviously, they have us doing it in the next step, but that doesn't make sense to me. I've noticed that a little bit with this kit, as there's a lot of things where, like, I almost want to go through and build it again because you learn, okay, that wasn't really the right order to do things. This would have gone a lot better if we had done it this way or that way or the other way, especially in sequence of order of putting things together. But I mean, that's the way. I think that you kind of come out the backside of all kits that way, right? You go, oh wow, I would have done this or that differently, and I think probably everybody, like what they would say they would do different, everybody would say something different. So it's just, I think that's just the nature of the beast, right? All right, let me go ahead and put some glue. Actually, how am I going to do this? Because this has to go around that guy. Probably can hold it with my finger and then use some tweezers. It's going to go right here like this is my understanding. So I think, I've got my tweezers stuck. Okay, so what I think I'll do is I'll put the glue on. I'm going to add some glue to the bulkhead part there that we can try to then get our fitting to glue to. And I'm using CA glue for all this, literally because the instructions said to use CA glue for the vinyl parts. You know, I don't know how well the plastic cement, this kind of stuff would work on the vinyl parts. Now, of course, we're really just gluing paint to paint the way I'm doing this, so it probably doesn't really matter, but okay, I'm going to hold that right here just a second, see if could get a spray of accelerant in there if I had another hand, but I need to hold all this together. Shoot, I accidentally slipped. Come back here. We had it. It was right where it needs to go. I just kind of slipped with it. I'm hoping the glue, I got enough to make a good contact. I wonder if I can hold that. Try not to move. I'm very carefully reaching over to grab, and then I'm going to try to spray something. Hopefully I even hit. Oh, I moved dang it. I moved the part. I knew that was going to be hard. You need a third hand most of the time. Yeah. I think I might have missed the window. Let's see, it's starting to actually, no, hold on, everybody. Everybody hold still. Nobody move, nobody breathe. Is it gluing? I don't know. I mean, it's sitting right there. I'm actually okay with that if it'll stay. I need to touch up that red paint in there. But I'm okay with that if it'll stay. I think we're gluing up. It's a little on an angle, but who knows how that's really supposed to go. I am going to touch up the red real quick because it's bugging me. You guys probably can't even see it. Let me let's get on in here a little closer. You can see what I'm talking about. So there's the part we just mounted up, right? Can you see that? Yeah. And then I lost a little bit of our paint there. So I'm going to use, this is the, what do they call this? Clear red? It's clear red that I'm using for these AM fittings over top of the silver. I'm going to touch this one up too, over top of the silver line, and it makes a pretty good looking AM fitting, I think. There, perfect. A little touch up. I think we're good to go. I like how that is. I'm good with that. Now, we're still waiting on our dash over there. I don't know how long this stuff takes. It could be all day. Yeah, it's still pretty hazy. The gauges are. So I think we'll just leave that to dry. In fact, let me move it completely out of the way at this point, over here to the side, because I'm going to pull this up. And what we'll do, we'll finish up with step 19, and then we'll come back and check that. All right, so now what we have, so we made this connection here. We also have this guy from previous. Where is it at? Where does, oh, and it connects. I looked at this previously, and I never really can, because, okay, let's actually do this. So the only new part we have for step 19 is this H149 down here, which basically runs from this other top port right next to where we just made the connection on the canister, and then this end over to the hole in the, so it's the breather in the valve cover. So let's make that connection. Oh, and you know what? My other one came loose. I didn't even notice that. Uh-oh. Okay, so we'll reconnect this one too. I must have done that while I was messing with this other one. I guess it came loose on us. So what we'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect this one if I can. It's so hard to get. What if I should just put the glue on the end of it like so? That would be the easier way to make these connections. I don't know if you guys can see in this angle, but I can't see otherwise. Man, it's so hard. It's really hard to see because all this is black and it blends together on me. That's not straight. This one I want to actually look kind of good because it's sticking out for everybody to see. So I want to make sure these connections actually are as they should be. Very, you know, it's not like they're aiming straight into the places they go, which, okay, that looks pretty good. Now, this one, which I've actually just recently painted, is the one that's going to run basically just straight across here from the canister to the valve cover. Let me first thing see how well this is going to even. Yeah, I've learned to not trust the parts are going to even, well, if it would stop hitting our coil wire there. It looks like it's going to be about the right distance. Okay, so I think I'll make the connection to the valve cover first. I think would be the right way to go, which is over here. There we go. Now let me see if I can get this guy to kind of go to make that. Let's see. I'm gonna have to turn this. Let's go like that and go from the top. There's so much stuff in the way. There's just so many lines. I don't know if I can get this in there. There's so many lines and wires and at this point on this model that it's gotten kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I don't know if it will trim down. You know what I should do? I'm going to open up that hole a little bit. That's probably of course, I now have wet CA glue that I'm trying to drill through. It doesn't seem like a bad idea, huh? And again, point in case why you should dry fit everything before doing the glue ups. But I get in a hurry here, especially when we're at the 24-minute mark already, you know, so it's kind of time to wrap up. I need to get this done, and I end up rushing through it a little too much. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do also, I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Trim it down shorter so I don't have to make as much of a connection, like so. Let's reapply the glue in under here, like so. Let's try again with kind of putting this where it goes there. That's where it goes. I just need it to kind of fit in the hole a little bit. I think that's going to be okay, like that. Is it folded over on me? I can't, it's hard to tell. You know, being half blind doesn't help in model making. There we go. I think that went in. There we go. Yeah, and that's aiming right at, now it's aiming right at the canister here. In fact, we can probably, I'll let that glue up just a little bit before I pull it to the canister, make that connection. Now, the other one is this guy. Well, y'all probably can't even see it. It's down underneath here. Right down underneath here. And all it shows in the instructions it's this guy, which this is all, this is actually connected to the front of the motor, and then it's wrapping back around this way. And it just shows, it's just pointing at the canister. Like at first I thought it went into this spot, but that's when I realized, no, it's that guy that goes there. Or actually this guy that goes there. So I think this is supposed to connect just down on the bottom here. Down on the bottom of the canister there, I think is the idea. Which I'll make that connection. I'll make this connection. I want to make sure these all get nice and glued up before I start moving stuff around. But you can see, look at all the lines we're getting in this very small space. I mean, there's just tons of AN fittings everywhere. It's getting a little ridiculous, you know. But like I said, the Accurate Miniatures, they try to put it all in there, correct size or not. But I'll make that connection at the bottom of the canister. I'll make that connection at the top of the canister. Once this finishes gluing up, in fact, I don't know, maybe I could go ahead and do it, but I'd rather make sure that the gauges are completely glued up before I put in the dash. I'm going to go ahead and put in the dash, and then we have a steering wheel that's literally just going to go right here, but I just have to wait because if you look, there's a hole here. Let's make sure you can see it. There's a hole here that the steering column goes through. So I have to wait to put the dash in before I put the steering wheel in. I'll do all that in between episodes so that we can keep this moving along. And tomorrow we're going to actually start doing, let me zoom out. Boy, I really got you guys in close to the work here. Whoops, that's even closer. Tomorrow we're going to start step 20. Let me see if I can get out to it. We'll start step 20, which is roll bar assembly. It looks like we got some radiators and all that kind of stuff. We'll try to also, well, it looks like oh boy. So step 21 is going to get nuts. It looks like we've got a bunch. This is all previously installed stuff, but we still have all of this has to go in, and we make some, that's where that one's going to go. I've been wondering, by the way, we have a loose fitting down right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's been down here forever, and I have had no idea where it actually attaches. Here it is. It's going to attach in step 21 to, I guess, whatever. This is a radiator or whatever. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm glad to know that's actually going to go somewhere. But I'll get step, what were we on? 19 finished up in between episodes. Check the short tab in the morning. What I do is, once I get this all finished up, I'll shoot a short of it. It's a very simple little YouTube short, kind of showing the whole thing where we're at for step 19. In fact, I'll label it as McLaren build step 19, but check that out in the morning and you can see kind of where we finished up. And then tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, we'll start going live again. Well, it's not really live, but we'll go uncut, unedited is what I call it. Doing step 20 and hopefully some of step 21 and then the short the next. And I'm just trying to keep that pattern going so you guys can keep up with the build. Let me know what you think about that down in the description. In fact, if you'd like the shorts to come out at a different time, let me know. I do them the next morning because it gives me plenty of time to get everything finished up and then actually shoot the short, which is, I'm working on my quality of short shoots. God, I hate the word short. That's YouTube short. Anyways, that's what they call it. That's what we're going to use. But I'm trying to work on the quality of that, just so you know. And it works out to do it the next morning, just so it gives me a little bit of time. But anyways, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to get out of here before I start rambling on for too long. Thanks for joining me. Leave me those comments, hit the like button. Hey, subscribe if you want to keep up, check the playlist, all that stuff. Do that stuff you do on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.